Hi, how are you? And welcome. And it's lovely to be with you. And I'm back with the business astrology because we've got some really interesting things happening for us in the business world. We have got Mercury, the communications planet, going direct in Sagittarius. So we're about on the ninth, so we're about to become extraordinarily fluent in our ability to not just explore a concept, an idea, but we're going to be wanting to do this. And our focus is going to move from going into great detail to now looking up and really looking at the broad picture. And this is fabulous for us in terms of setting forward a business strategy for next year and really honing in on what we've learned about the business and our relationship of ourselves to the business this year and what we're looking forward to doing with the business next year. The only thing that I'm going to say to you is at this stage just explore, because we've got a wonderful full moon coming up on the 12th. And this full moon is going to be able to highlight for us and give us some real concrete understanding of the changes that we're going to want to make. So at this point in time, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, it's just let's have those conversations. Let's allow the mind to muse and wonder. Let's plan out different scenarios and just see where this might take us. But let's not lock anything in right now, because you don't have the clear understanding that's going to come on the 12th. And what's interesting about this full moon on the 12th, this is the 12th of December, and it's going to be full on the 12th of the 12th. So 12 minutes past midnight, it's going to be the full moon on the 12th of December. That's a 9. 9 is the manifesting card. So you can expect a lot of things that you've been wanting to come into being to start coming into being. And you're going to see them coming together, not now, closer to the new year and in the future for the new year. So there's going to be some very subtle but quite specific changes that's going to be happening, and it's going to change fundamentally some of the things, perhaps even that you thought were true about your business or how you thought your business was going to go or your career, and now you're going to be shown something else. And something else is going to be coming forward into your life, and it's going to have a big change. And that's going to be very interesting to observe for all of us. So that's going to be happening on the 12th. So 9th, start the discussion. 12th, we'll start to see that clarity. We'll start from the 12th onwards for 2 weeks up until Christmas. Start to see the manifesting of that. Now, for most of us, except if you're crazy like me and working in the tourist industry a little bit, you're going to find that the 24th is normally a bit of a slowdown. But you might actually find that you'll get great zing moments, or real like moments of great clarity. So just go with it. If you get a thought that is coming in, just go with it. If you get an opportunity, just be open to explore it. You don't have to take the opportunity that comes to you. You can take the opportunity that comes to you, explore it, build it, move it around and make it work for you. This is one of the things that's actually going to be changing for a lot of us. We are going to be looking at opportunities that come to us, and because we've been doing so much work on ourselves, on a personal understanding and a professional development understanding, because the two have been going together quite nicely this year, what's going to be happening is when these opportunities are presented, you're going to be a lot more fleet of foot with these thoughts. See, Mercury. Mercury is the winged god who moved between the two realms. You're going to be very articulate. You're going to be very open, and you're going to be able to take the opportunity that's going to be provided. And while your instinct or your immediate reaction might be to not go with it, what I'm going to ask you to do is just do the what if scenarios. I've been talking about this for a bit, but just do the what if scenarios and see if you can move it around into something that is advantageous for you and advantageous for the people who presented that scenario, and you make it work, you make it yours. And this is how the future is going to be operating for us. Just because someone says it's A doesn't mean you can't take A and color it in a little bit and make it A plus or minus 1 to make it suit you. And you'll see the opportunity, and you'll have the confidence to do this, and the understanding not just of your perspective but of the other person's perspective. And I think that's going to be really interesting. And the full moon is going to be in Gemini. That Gemini is all about dualism and working with things and making things work and communicating. It's both sides of the coin. So this is why I think what we're going to be able to do with these opportunities is muse them around, tweak them a little bit, if not sometimes even turn them completely on their head, but make them workable, not just for you, but for the other party. And in doing that, creating something a little bit newer, a little bit fresher, but definitely something that is a lot more in line with who you are now. The other thing on the 13th is Chrion, the wounded warrior, is going to be turning direct. At the moment, Chrion is stationary, and that's creating a little bit of a void. So the focus on us right now is not, we're getting inklings that there's something moving, but we don't have great clarity on that. That's okay. You have to learn to be comfortable with this clarity for a bit, because like I said, over December is when, from December the 12th onwards, up right until Christmas is when we're going to be getting this new understanding, and then we're going to have great clarity. And what's going to be happening with Chrion, especially in terms of the business, is you're going to be redefining your boundaries. You're going to be redefining your value, and you're going to be sticking with that. So things that you were doing in the past because you kind of thought you should have, or you felt pressured to do it because it's the right thing for you to be doing, there's going to be a few I'm not doing that, and you're going to be putting a line through that and going, that's not what I want to be doing, that's not how I want to be defining myself. And you're going to have the skills in terms of the articulation and to be able to put that across in a really clear, succinct way that people will understand, and hopefully 88% of them will understand and accept. There's always going to be someone who doesn't. And remember, if there's no change, change happens when there's resistance. If there's no resistance, there's no change. So you do need someone to be pushing back a little bit, because then you know that you are actually implementing a change. If everyone just goes, oh yeah, that's no problem, then you know it's not a change. Change happens with pushback. And sometimes we do the pushing back, sometimes other people do the pushing back, but you always get a little bit of pushback. So you should start to be able to be really articulating what your new boundaries are, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, what your value is in this relationship, and how that value needs to be respected. That's also another boundary that's going to be put in place. So these are the changes that you can expect. And if you're thinking in more harder terms, so that might be your pricing strategy. It might be your contribution and how you are rewarded for that contribution, whether that is through verbal or written recognition, or whether that is through ownership of an idea. So there's going to be some changes that you're going to put in place about how you are being valued in terms of your contribution, and what that contribution looks like, and how it is valued by the people you're working with. So that's the other change that's going to be coming out of this learning that we've been going through with Chrion on the 13th. So I actually think all of that is quite exciting. So get ready for some changes in our boundaries. Get ready for some changes in how we are positioning ourselves in our relationships, in our business relationships, how we're seeking value, how we might be positioning ourselves in the market, and start to be thinking about what's the strategy looking like, what does my business the actuality of the business, the customers, and how I'm interacting with people who are important in my business and my career. How is that looking and beginning to look for the next year? Because we're starting a new phase. So I want us to take the learning we've been doing, and I want you to translate that into the future and where that growth can be for this new strategy. I think it's exciting. Okay, see you soon. I'll be back with the tarot. Bye-bye.